If you've ever applied for a job online and wondered whether your resume disappeared into a black hole, you're definitely not alone. You find a job, you apply, and then nothing. But what if instead of just submitting an application and waiting, you could actually find the recruiter, hiring manager, or decision maker at that company? That's what RocketReach claims to help you do. So today, we're taking a look at RocketReach to see what it actually does, how useful it is, and whether it's something job seekers, salespeople, entrepreneurs, or freelancers should consider using. And as always, we're looking for practical value. No hype. Let's get into it. What is RocketReach? RocketReach is essentially a professional contact database. You can search for people by name, company, job title, industry, location, and other criteria. RocketReach then helps you find professional contact information associated with those people. And that immediately opens up some interesting possibilities. Let's say you just applied for an AI automation specialist position. Instead of stopping after clicking apply, you could search the company and look for people with titles like hiring manager, talent acquisition specialist, recruiter, director of automation, AI manager, operations director, or whoever might actually be involved in filling that position. That's very different from sending your resume into an application system and hoping somebody notices it. Let's try it. Let's imagine I found a company I'm interested in working for. I can search RocketReach for that company and start looking at the people who work there. Now here's where I think this gets interesting. I'm not necessarily looking for the CEO. If this is a large company, the CEO probably isn't involved in hiring an individual analyst or automation specialist. Instead, I'm looking for the person who would realistically have some connection to the position. Maybe that's someone in talent acquisition. Maybe it's an AI leader. Maybe it's an operations manager. Maybe it's a department director. The goal isn't to spam people. The goal is to identify the right person. And that's an important distinction. RocketReach for job seekers. This is probably the use case that interests me the most. I've talked before on this channel about using AI during the job search. AI can help you research companies. It can help improve your resume. It can help you prepare for interviews. It can even help you identify opportunities. But there's still a human being somewhere on the other side of that application. RocketReach potentially helps you figure out who that human being is. Imagine applying for a position and then sending a short, professional message to the recruiter or hiring manager. Not, "Hey, did you see my application?" Instead, something like, "Hi, Sarah. I recently applied for the AI automation specialist position at your company. I have experience building practical AI and automation workflows, and the role really caught my attention. I wanted to introduce myself and connect." That's it. Short, professional, human. You aren't begging for an interview. You're simply making yourself a little harder to overlook. RocketReach for freelancers and entrepreneurs. But RocketReach isn't only interesting for job seekers. Imagine you're a freelancer offering automation services. Instead of randomly emailing businesses, you could search for companies that fit your ideal customer profile. Then find people with titles such as operations manager, business owner, marketing director, sales director, chief operating officer. Those are people who may actually have problems automation can solve. For example, maybe a company has employees spending hours manually copying information between spreadsheets. Maybe they're manually following up with leads. Maybe they're creating reports every Friday afternoon. Those are exactly the kinds of repetitive processes that automation can help eliminate. RocketReach can potentially help you identify the people who actually care about solving those problems. But there's a big warning, and this is important. Just because you can find someone's contact information doesn't mean you should immediately start blasting them with emails. That's how useful tools turn into spam machines. If I were using RocketReach for outreach, I'd rather contact 10 highly relevant people with personalized messages than send the same generic pitch to 500 people. Quality beats volume, especially when you're building your professional reputation. Use the information responsibly. Do your research. Have a legitimate reason for contacting someone. And give them something worth reading. Where AI comes in. This is where the workflow gets even more interesting. RocketReach helps you identify the person. AI can help you research the company and prepare the outreach. For example, you could use an AI assistant to analyze the job description, the company's website, recent company announcements, the person's role, and your own experience. Then you could ask AI to help you draft a short outreach message, connecting those pieces together. But I wouldn't just copy and paste whatever AI produces. Read it, edit it, make it sound like you. The combination is what matters. RocketReach helps find the right person. AI helps you prepare. You provide the judgment and human connection. Is RocketReach worth it? I think that depends heavily on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're casually applying for 1 or 2 jobs, you probably don't need another tool. But if you're actively job hunting, networking, freelancing, recruiting, selling, or building a business, a contact research tool can become much more interesting. The real value isn't having access to thousands of contacts. It's finding the one contact who can actually help move something forward. That's the part I think people sometimes miss. My takeaway: RocketReach doesn't magically get you a job. It doesn't magically find customers. And it definitely doesn't replace networking. What it can potentially do is remove one of the hardest parts of networking: figuring out who you should actually talk to. And when you combine that with AI research and thoughtful outreach, you've got a pretty powerful workflow. Find the opportunity, identify the right person, research the company, create a personalized message, make the connection. That's practical AI and automation. Not replacing people, helping you connect with the right ones. If you've used RocketReach, let me know in the comments. Did it actually help you make a connection? And if there are other AI, automation, or productivity tools you want me to test, drop those below too. If you found this useful, subscribe to Everyday AI Automation. I test AI tools, build real automations, and show you what's actually useful without the hype. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.